Hello everyone and welcome. Are Christmas trees a resource or not? I'll be showing you what I've done with these Christmas trees, and then I will show you what's growing in my garden allotment and then a few of the seedlings that I've planted. And this is what I'm talking about, this lovely shredded leaves of the Christmas tree, which is meant to be acidic and help ericaceous plants. But recently I read on the internet that it's a fallacy, it doesn't work, and that it's one of those gardening myths. So I emailed the Royal Horticultural Society, which is a facility that you have if you're a member, and they wrote back saying, well, if you put a little on, it probably won't have much of an effect, but if you put a whole big lot on it around each individual plant every year, then it will build up over time. But it isn't a very strong acidic mulch, but it does act as a mulch, and that in itself is a good thing. And also we are clearing up, my favourite expression, it's a free resource such as those leaves are, and although the council will take away your Christmas trees, it's something that I can use to my advantage, and so this is what I'll be putting on some ericaceous plants. Well, the first thing I do is to cut the branches off, and I use the loppers to cut the small branches, and then I go on to my reciprocating saw to cut off the thicker branches. And those are the branches from 3 large Christmas trees and 1 medium Christmas tree, and that is all the wood you get. A reciprocating saw, if you can see it in my shadow, is really handy to have. Not as dangerous as a chainsaw, but still can be very dangerous, so take care. If I buy one again, I will buy one that is cordless so I can do work on the allotment. Well, this is my new shredder. It's very expensive, for me very expensive, birthday come Christmas present from me to me, and it's the Bosch AXT 25TC. And this is what I'm using at the side of the house on the concrete here, because the garden is just soft mud and I'm not going to roll it into there. And I'll show you how it works. Utter peace. I'm on the allotment now on plot 1, and this is the black currant bed. I have 4 black currant plants here. This year I have netted them individually because in the first year I netted the whole thing, and the beautiful tall Echin vulgaris plants were all squashed and didn't look so good. The second year I didn't net them, but the Echin vulgaris plants, also known as Viper's bugloss, were really crowded and busy, and no birds touched them. Last year I didn't have many flowers growing, I didn't net them, and they got damaged badly, which is a bit strange, because if you actually move to that side over there, you will see over there that there are some blackcurrant bushes, and they weren't touched at all by the birds. Well, I am assuming it's the birds that did the damage, but all these top little sticks were totally broken, and a few of these down here as well. As you can see at the moment, there's some lovely little shoots coming up, which augurs well for the future. And over here, as you can see, some of the roots are actually quite high on the surface, so I need to put a lot more compost on here. But I was going to do it this morning, but my compost heap is absolutely frozen, and the roots here are quite superficial, so one needs to be very careful on how one digs. And this is one of those lovely Echin vulgaris which form a little rosette to begin with, and then they come up really high, but I don't think I've got enough this year. And here is the bed of leeks, and all that's left is the below zero. Having criticised them a bit as not being so resistant to rust, I'm so pleased with them because they're standing strong through this January, and they'll probably take me into the end of February. Well, they should in theory, except I'll probably be eating them before then. And the first of the daffodil shoots starting to come up. And blow me, I've actually started work on that strawberry bed, getting rid of some of those weeds. Well, this is the Brassica bed, and over here I've got the cottager's kale, which I've been harvesting on a regular basis. They are meant to be, I read somewhere, short-lived perennials, but they will have to come out eventually because I need this bed for something else. At the end there I have the purple sprouting broccoli, and at the moment there's only one of them that's sprouting, and it's that one, if you can see. And here on plot 2 are the broad beans, Aquadulce Claudia. When I came about half an hour ago, they were all bent over limp. They'd been affected quite badly by the frost, and I was a bit concerned about them. But now that it's warmed up and the sun is up, they've straightened up, and what hardy little plants they are. And here's the garlic on plot 2, and if I go really closely, there's what I thought particularly useless Provence white garlic, which I didn't have any hopes for, but it's coming up. And there's the Lidl garlic, and it's almost of the size now, if I move on a bit, of the overwintering radar onions. And my shadow getting in the way again. And they're not doing too badly at all. Well, I've been growing some seeds indoors on the windowsill, and these here are onion seeds. This is Bedfordshire Champion, and this is Ailsa Craig, which is meant to be mild tasting onion, large onion. I tried growing onions from seed about 2 years ago and failed abysmally, so I'm trying again. These don't look brilliant. They were both planted on the 1st of January, and in the past I've had to use sets, and so this year I've got me here a backup. Some sets called Centurion from Wilko for £1.50 for 50. So if this doesn't work, then at least I'll have some onions. Over here I have the leeks, which I've grown quite successfully this year, and I'm so glad that I harvested some leeks yesterday. This is below zero, because they've been actually quite successful after all that. And I'm going to go back to trying Musselburgh, and we'll see how that goes. And finally over here I have White Lisbon, spring onions, which I'll be hardening off soon. And later on I'll be planting some ramrod and some guardsman. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday and the day before, acute sun, freezing blue skies, and today, snow. Well, an hour later and it's still snowing, so there's just a couple of things I'm going to say about what veg there is left in the garden, not a lot, and then I shall give up and go inside. At the side of the house, these are the only vegetables left. I have some American land cress, and I'm still using that in salads. And then there's the miner's lettuce, which I should have pricked out and planted separately, but I never got round to do that. But you know, I'm still eating it as you would eat mustard and cress, by cutting it and adding that to salads, and so it's something good to have in winter, especially as it's quite high in vitamin C. At the back of the garden I still have the Taunton Dean kale, which I am harvesting on a regular basis, and I'm so pleased I've got that. Over there I have the last of the Brussel sprouts. There was some very good lost leaders in the shops, 500 grams for 14 pence at Christmas, so I bought quite a lot of those. And I have the kalettes, just a couple going there, and one purple sprouting broccoli up there. Over in the front I have 3 lots of rhubarb. I have the early red, which was there. I've moved up the champagne to there because it needed some room. I've taken out 2 black currant plants because they only gave me a handful of black currants, so they tasted quite good. And the other rhubarb has been moved to over there. And over there I've got one cutting, which I'm trying to protect, of Big Ben blackcurrant. May I just remind everyone to participate, if they can, in the Big Garden Birdwatch, which starts for 3 days, I think, on the 29th of January. Here I have a few garden feeders hanging up, and they get fed every day, and now in the snow they'll be fed a second time. Over there I have some water which is totally frozen over, so I shall be putting some warm water in there to defrost it. And in that ledge just there is where I have some other food, where some of the birds that can't use these feeders here, some of those birds such as they can feed there, such as the dunnocks, the blackbirds and the robin redbreast. So from here in snowy Surrey, I wish you all a lovely winter.